Spirit 105.3. Go Hawks. This is Erica.
Hi, Erica. It's Rob Turbin. How you doing?
I'm doing great because you're on the show today. Wow. This is so fun. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Thank you for your valuable time. How about that game the other night?
Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. How do you watch a game like that, having played on that field under that kind of pressure? Like, where are you?
You know, that's actually a good question. It's funny because even still today, even being removed from the game for however many years it's been now, it's hard to watch a game without you imagining yourself out there. But, you know, one of the differences for me now is, you know, because I've been in the broadcast world for the last 4 years as a color commentator, it's like I'm doing a little bit of both. So I'm imagining myself out there, but then I'm also like calling the game in my own mind.
Yes.
So it's a unique way to watch the game.
Oh, that's so fun. When did you fall in love with football, Rob?
Wow. I mean, I think I've been in love with football. I mean, I started playing at 10 years old.
Huh.
I knew that I wanted to potentially become a professional when I was a sophomore in high school. I think that was the turning point for me, that I really wanted to sort of hone in and dedicate myself to the game.
Okay, so when did you know that you were good? I mean, was there a moment where you thought, you know, I think I can play professionally? Because I think every boy at some point believes that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think I always believed that. I think I always believed that. Even when I was just a young 10-year-old kid playing Pop Warner football, I always believed that I could play at the highest levels. And, you know, so I don't know, I kind of altered my life to make sure that I checked that box.
Wow, Rob, you and I have something in common. I was a Pop Warner cheerleader back in the day. No coordination, but boy, I was rooting for my team, and that leads me to the 12s. Wow, I mean, talk about the support of the 12s when you were playing then and even now, what it means to you as a player.
Well, it means a lot. And the unique thing about the Seahawks fan base, the 12s, is that, you know, from the outside looking in, you can see how much they impact the game itself and how much they are involved and in tune with what's going on the field. But that same level of focus is actually off the field as well. And I think that's what I appreciate most about the 12s. Like, this is the most helpful, embracing fan base that I've ever been around. So if you're, you know, a player and you're taking your family out to dinner, you want to buy a new car, you want to get involved in some investments, you want to go back to school and get your education, this fan base is so helpful in sort of leading you into any direction that you want to go and wanting to lend out a helping hand without really anything in return. No autograph, no photo or anything like that. And so this fan base is really special.
Oh, I agree. I'm so proud to be a 12. I've been one for 7 years now, and I can't wait to see our Hawks in the big game. I got to know, since you've played in the championship, what do you eat for breakfast on a day like that?
I guess it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own thing. Sherm would eat McDonald's McMuffins and hash browns, you know, and you know, where other guys are eating, you know, eggnog and egg whites or whatever. So that's on you. Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. And then tell me about your family rooting for you. Like, you're in the big game and you've got family, you've got friends. What does their support mean to you?
It means everything. It really does. Because they were, you know, with you from the beginning. And, you know, my dad was always a big supporter of anything that I wanted to do. He never really, I told him I wanted to be professional football, and he just said, okay, son, you know.
Wow.
But and he just always supported it, you know, where, I don't know, folks outside of your family may give you rebuttals and be careful about this, and I'm not so sure about that. I didn't get that, you know, with my family, so I've always appreciated that.
So cool. Now, Rob, you're a man of faith, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, because I saw this video of you where you were saying that you credit God with where you are today, who you are today. How did he bring you this far?
Well, he certainly has helped me overcome a lot of trials and tribulations as a young kid growing up. We didn't always have, you know, the advantages of some other people, and even as an adult, you know, some of the things that have been challenging in my life, some of the adversities that I have faced, he's always sort of brought me through that. And I can never be more grateful. I used to always say that my advantage was my faith. I think that the reason why I was always advancing or it always worked out for me was because of my faith in God. And so I'm always appreciative of that.
That's so cool. When you think back to those nights before the 2 Super Bowls you played in, how do you pray? How do you talk to God? Like, what do you say to him?
I really, what I learned over time was, because when I was younger, when I would pray, I used to ask for things. And, as I got older and I got, more education on how to pray, my dad was a pastor, so he would pray all the time.
Wow.
But I just started to just tell God how thankful I was to just be in this moment. I don't care about scoring a touchdown tomorrow. I don't really care about the stats and the yards anymore. I used to care about that stuff. I used to pray like, God, please, I want to score 3 touchdowns. But no, when I became a pro, it was just more about gratitude, and that's what I pray about.
Oh, I think that's so cool. What happens when you make a mistake? How do you recover from that? Because you make a mistake in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, it's one of those things you learn young, that it's all about the next play. That sounds cliche, but it's, from the time that I was 10 years old all the way through the pros, that was a common saying. It's about the next play. So if you drop a pass, you fumble a football, you miss a block, it's just about the next play. And you just don't want to make the same mistake twice. And that's how you're able to recover. And understanding that it happens to everybody, you're not the only one that's going to come out here and make a mistake. Just like life,
Yeah.
So it's just about the next play.
Yeah. Okay. I got to ask you about Marshawn. How I love him. I saw him on that Lime bike riding to the Hawks-Rams game. I about died. What was it like working closely with him? And did he ever share Skittles with you?
He was great. And Marshawn is he's a giver, whether it was, the beast mode swag, whatever it was, he was always, giving away things to guys in the locker room. And so he was like a fan favorite, obviously, but also a favorite within the locker room and one of our all-time great leaders.
Wow. Rob Turbin, it is such a joy to connect with you. I've got producer Max here. He does a show here on the radio station with a couple questions. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's great.
God bless you. It's so good to know you.
Great to know you as well.
Hang on.
Hey, Turbo, thanks for coming on with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about some of the teams that you played on. Obviously are the most notorious teams in the history of the franchise. I'm curious how you feel like this Super Bowl team compares to the ones that you played on.
Well, they're very similar. Both had very extraordinary defenses, that were just hard to move the ball against and hard to score points on. And so, they got similarities there. But I think the biggest thing that I noticed with this football team is just how they're connected. They police one another. They hold each other accountable. They hold each other to a high standard, in the locker room. And everybody is selflessly playing out there on the field. There's no egos or hidden agendas. It's just selfless play, when you watch the Seahawks out there on the field. And our team was very similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for you in your personal life, obviously, it's been a little bit since you've played in an NFL game, but you've made quite a name for yourself in broadcasting, doing some entrepreneurial stuff. I'm curious for you, what was it like transitioning away from football and finding purpose in your life outside of the field?
Yeah, it was not the easiest task, because it's almost like when you go to college and you have this in your mind what you want to major in, but then 2 years later it changes because, something else sort of sparks your interest. And so, the only difference is that at least you're going to class and there's a lot of activity. When you retire, there could be a little lull there where you're not doing much at all. And that can take a toll on you a little bit. Especially mentally. And so it was a challenge, but, once I sort of found my lane, I've really enjoyed it, and it's become a huge passion for me.
All right, last thing for you. Are you going to be down there on Radio Row, and do you have a prediction for the game?
I'll be down there the first part of the week, Monday through Thursday, but then I got to jet out of town. But I think the Seahawks are going to win. They're the more complete team. and I just think they're overall, better than the Patriots from a personnel standpoint. So I got the Seahawks winning.
Awesome. Robert Turbin, thank you so much for joining us here on Spirit 105.3.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a good one.
You too.